So I own over 100 bottles of fragrances, and I field tested each and every one of these, doing reviews on the channel for over 2 years. Trust me, man, I know them inside and out, and I know fragrances like the back of my hand, and these are the very best of the best of the best. 5 fragrances that are gonna guarantee you compliments specifically for the springtime. No fluff, I don't care about liking or subscribing, let's get right into it. So I wanted to give a quick shout out to 3 honorary mentions that didn't make the list, but depending on who you are, these actually might be a really great choice. So I didn't want to leave them out in case you're the perfect person for this. But first is Dylan Blue. I mean, man, this one just literally smacks you in the beginning with that freaking grapefruit, right? And I absolutely adore this fragrance. The reason it loses a little bit of points is that it's not really that unique. It's just an amazing, fresh and clean, absolute powerhouse of a blue scent. But the reason I think it's worth mentioning is that it's the cheapest one on this list. You can literally get it for 40 bucks or under. So if you're someone who's on a budget, you're in high school, you're in college, and you're looking for an amazing compliment beast, I mean, this has it all. Performance, you spray it a few times in the morning, you don't have to worry about it for the next 12 hours. People will absolutely think you're the best smelling guy in most rooms you walk into. Where it loses points is a personality, but it makes up for it in price. The second honorary mention is none other than the godfather of spring fragrances themselves. I mean, this is kind of what innovated the space and created the first real spring fragrance. I mean, when you smell this one, man, I do love this one. I have to be honest, I really do love this one. It's class in a bottle. When I think of this, I think of a gentleman. I think of someone like George Clooney, someone with a little salt and pepper. The reason it loses points is because of the versatility. I mean, yes, we're talking about spring fragrances, but even within spring, I find I don't just reach for it often. Maybe it's my fault. To be honest, maybe it's my fault that I haven't gotten a lot of compliments on this because I just don't wear it that much. To start, it also is, you're gonna spend at least $300, $350 to get this bottle. So it makes it inaccessible for most people, which I feel like is tough to put on this list. But even just from a compliment perspective, you need to be a more mature person. I swear to God, man, the second I turn 40, I wanna wear this more often, but it literally smells like fresh cut grass. You're like in the, let's say you're in Ireland, fresh cut grass, and someone just pushed you down a hill and you keep rolling. That's what it smells like. It smells absolutely gorgeous, fantastic. You all will love it for the elegance and the grace. And I think it's the godfather because of 50 years ago is what put Creed on the map, but it's really tough to recommend for most people because it's not a scent that even I gravitate towards a lot, but just for the beauty of it, just because of the historic nature of it, just how prolific it is, I had to include it. And the last honorary mention is John Varvatos' Artisan Pure. This fragrance, I will be wearing a lot this spring because it's one of the most unique fragrances I have just in my entire collection. What they've done is the note's called marjoram, I think that's how I'm pronouncing it, but I'll tell you exactly what that smells like. It smells like jasmine, but like a peppery jasmine. How do you make a jasmine a masculine fragrance, right? And that's what they've done here. They took jasmine, very feminine, floral note, and they made it masculine, not just a little bit masculine, like it is absolutely masculine. So it takes the traditional masculine, fresh and clean deodorant, like soapy scent, but then puts florals in it, but then makes it even more masculine somehow. Like when I think of this, I think of like Jason Statham, I think of The Rock. I just think that it doesn't get that many compliments because it's just such a unique out there scent. But if you're someone who is looking to push the boundaries a bit, you're someone who likes to experiment with new fragrances, I mean, this is literally also spring in a bottle. I mean, jasmine, masculine, it doesn't get any better than that. So let's get into the top 5 list, starting with number 5, Prada L'Homme. If you've been around the fragrance block, you've been watching some fragrance content for a little bit, you know, man, this is number 1 on many people's list. At once upon a time, it was my number 1 as well. How do I begin to describe this? There's neroli in it, which is one of the most classiest, elegant, gentlemanly scents you can possibly have, right? Neroli to me smells like you're on a yacht wearing all white in Portofino in Italy. You're driving a Ferrari in Nice, south of France, something I did recently last year. It smells like that. But instead of just a fresh, clean, classy scent, they put iris in this, which makes it just brings the whole thing together, makes it so effortlessly elegant. It's a soapy fragrance. Don't get me wrong. But the reason why I think this is such a beautifully well done masterpiece is that most of the fragrances you'll encounter, when you're wearing them, it smells like you're wearing a fragrance completely. Like when people compliment you, they'll say, oh, what fragrance are you wearing? That smells so nice. When you wear this on your skin, people won't say, what are you wearing? They'll be like, oh, you smell nice. See the little differentiation there? This one here, it is more close to the skin. It doesn't project as far. But when I tell you this is the best office scent, the best date, like one of the first date scents, because it's just like so inoffensive and it's so classic and masculine, but yes, so elegant and beautiful. I literally, like this is literally a gentleman in a bottle, a modern day gentleman. But because it's a bit more close to the skin, it doesn't get like head turner, massive compliments. It's more when someone's close to you or talking to you, they'll get a whiff of it and they'll be like, oh, you smell very nice. Once again, you smell nice. No, it's not like, oh, your fragrance smells really nice. I mean, I think this is why this is great for someone who doesn't like to, who doesn't want to wear fragrance, right? Maybe someone, you live in a place where spring is really hot, or maybe you're someone who just doesn't want to wear a fragrance that smells like, you know, you're putting even something on. That's perfect for someone like this, right? Like maybe you are someone who lives in Williamsburg, or maybe you're someone whose style and aesthetic is to wear like more neutral, muted colors, that sort of stuff. I think this would be a perfect, elegant, beautiful option for you. So what's funny is number 4 on this list is an extreme opposite to the fragrance I just described, and that is Mojave Ghost by Byredo. I'll put the fragrance notes up here for a second. Man, this is so freaking beautiful. What a gorgeous scent. But yeah, even though the fragrance notes are here, it's kind of confusing. There's this ingredient called sopadilla, which I think is a Spanish fruit. But you're not here because you care about the fragrance notes, right? Let me tell you exactly what this fragrance smells like. Let me paint a picture. And it's going to use stuff that is not in the notes at all, but this is what it actually smells like to me. Let's say you're in Dubai. It's sunset, it's breezy, you're out and about, and you stop by at an outside bar and you order a lychee martini, as one does. You get a lychee martini and there's some strawberries in it as well. However, you're an alpha male, so while you're drinking this lychee martini, you're also smoking a cigar, and it's smoky, it's thick, it has a little tobacco, incense, like it's smoky. While you're smoking the cigar, drinking your lychee martini, as one does in Dubai, I guess, a beautiful, elegant, very classy woman walks by in a red dress, and you get a whiff of this very just upscale, floral, feminine perfume, and she sits right next to you. So in a sense, what Mojave Ghost smells like to me is a conglomerate of all these frickin' fragrances put into a bottle. This is by far the most complex, most interesting, most unique, most out there scent I own in my entire collection. Probably one of the top 3 of all the hundreds of bottles I have. It literally does smell like a smoky, floral lychee martini. And because of that, this gets straight up head turner, like neck breaking reactions from compliments. I mean, when people smell this on me, they don't even know what to say. They're like, what is that? Like that's literally the reaction I get when I wear Mojave Ghost. The reason it's number 4 and not higher on this list is because it is very extreme in reactions. I mean, there are some people who will be like, holy crap, that's the most beautiful scent in the world. And some people who, they may not get the vibe of it. It might be a bit too much, to be honest. If you're someone with a loud personality, you're someone who likes to push the boundaries of style, you're someone who is wearing like something that's, you're that guy in you're that guy in your friend group. You are that guy, you know who you are. This is a fragrance. I mean, this is an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous signature scent, man. I mean, how else can you, have you ever heard of a smoky lychee martini floral scent? Right? This does, but be cautioned, this is over $200. It is one of the most expensive, second most expensive fragrance on this list after Green Irish Tweed. And it is very unisex because of what I described, right? There is a smokiness, there is that depth to it, but it is floral and it is lychee and it is fruity. So it is pure. This is one of the most, first time when people say unisex, I'm like, no, it's not unisex. Something always leans masculine or feminine fragrances. This is purely the most unisex fragrance I have on this list. So out of everything here is the blind buy except for this one. Try to get a decanter, try to get a small sample, smell this first. But if it's right for you, drop every other fragrance and pick this one, man. I mean, you will stand up from the crowd. No one's gonna smell like you. You will, when I say head jerk reactions, this is the type of reactions where people have literally stopped me on the street to be like, hey, is that you? What fragrance are you wearing? But at the same time, I mean, I can tell why this might be a little bit too much for most people. So let's get into the top 3 with an absolute banger of a scent. And if you've been on TikTok or social media, you know this is going absolutely viral right now. Dior Homme, make sure you get the intense version. Because, man, you won't want the intense version because this smells so freaking good that you want to last all day. And the regular ones, it doesn't last as long, but this one, man, whoo, God, oh, oof, one more time. This is the first time a fragrance has been hyped on TikTok and social media, and I think it's accurately hyped. I mean, this is Okay, let's get right into it. Let's get right into who I think this is perfect for, why this makes a scent, everything. Remember earlier we were talking about Prada L'Homme and how we said this is a very inoffensive, fresh, clean, luxury gentleman of a scent. Well, this takes that fresh, clean, that iris, that lavender note, but makes it dark, makes it mysterious, makes it almost want to question some bad decisions because they combined it with this pear note and pear, like pear, like, and once again, this is slightly synthetic because of that pear note, but not like you won't even notice it because of the combination of everything, because you can't really get, there's no such thing as like a pear essential oil, right? But there's a pear note in this that with the lavender and the iris that makes it so dark, mysterious. This is what I call the perfect fragrance for the troubled artist. And there's a reason why women love that archetype. When you've seen in movies over and over again, where there's a troubled artist, he's so passionate about what he does. He has long hair, maybe a scruffy beard. He's just working on his workshop, building what he's building, but he has a lot of problems. Socially, he's immature, whatever. Emotionally, he's immature. But girls just gravitate towards this guy because he's so mysterious, so passionate. They want to fix this guy, right? That's what I think about when I think about this. If you're someone who's in the arts, or you're someone in the creative field, or you're someone who is doing something that, like just the offbeaten path from the corporate environment, this is gonna be your choice. This is gonna be your poison. I mean, this scent, man, this is one of the, similar to kind of Prada L'Homme, where people, when they smell this on you, they're not gonna be like, oh, what fragrance are you? Smells so good. It's gonna be like, oh, you just smell incredible. This scent is just one of those. I mean, it's like, when I think of this, I think of like Robert Pattinson, right? Like I think of genuinely, actually no, I think of, yes, Robert Pattinson work, but I think of someone like Harry Styles, right? Like a passionate rock star, a little mysterious, happens to just, literally girls love him, are falling over them for no reason. But at the same time, you kind of get why, because the guy's a fucking stud and he smells like this. So Dior Homme Intense lasts, and this is performance beast. I mean, it lasts forever. It's pretty affordable as well. I mean, there's only pros in favor of this one, right? The reason it's number 3 and not higher on the list is because it's more for the nighttime. It's more for the daytime, and it is for like a. It's not as mass pleasing as some of these other scents, right? Like the 2 on this list, it's like, it doesn't matter who you are, what you look, or what type of person you are, you're just gonna get compliments like out of the ass, right? But this one, while I still think this is for a great mature person and 90% of people will benefit from this, I think once in a while it doesn't get a compliment because when someone smells you, they literally think that's what you smell like, right? You're just a creative dude who lights incense and feels the energy of things. But I think this is a perfect signature scent as well for someone who just wants to smell, once again, not loud, not over the top, not like you're not looking for like massive amount of compliments. You just want to be the best. You just want to be a really good smelling dude. And I think that's where this is. But I had to give it points for beast performance. I had to give it points for just being an absolute, like, it's just so creative, so gorgeous, so beautiful. And if you're someone, once again, if you're in the creative, you're in the arts, you're in that type of a field, just drop everything and get this. Number 2 on this list is YSL's Y. Make sure you get the Eau de Parfum version, not the other one. Eau de Parfum is my favorite. But man, this scent as well, this, when you wear this, you are officially the best smelling guy in every room you walk into, bar none. It's fresh, it's clean, it's masterful. It takes the Dior Sauvage, Chanel blood, that DNA that people know and love and men and women compliment and crave. And then it takes it and puts depth and it puts personality. Remember earlier we were talking about Dylan Blue, and we're like, yeah, you will definitely get compliments on this one, but it lacks a bit of depth and personality. That's where this comes in. It takes this typical mass appealing, like certified compliment getting DNA, but it adds some ginger to it. It adds apple. And once again, apple is a synthetic note. You can't just get an apple essential oil, but it doesn't matter because it's just so fresh and clean and just beautiful. And that ginger opens it up beautifully. And then there's the sage. And then the sage is what makes it just freaking class, just straight class. And out of all the fragrances we've talked about today, including even number 1 to a certain extent, the performance on this one is just absolutely insane. Like, I'll spray it on my clothes, and then let's say I'm doing laundry a few days later, I'll grab a shirt and I can still smell it from the shirt. So the performance is absolutely insane. And here's the thing, for summertime, I might not even put this in the top 3 or 4, right? But just for the springtime, because it has that sage, because it has that depth, that ginger note, it just makes it so perfect and unique for spring. People don't realize that you should change fragrances according to season sometimes. But that's when, like for example, if I'm wearing like a really nice outfit, right? And I'm wearing a Rolex when I'm wearing a full suit, people are gonna compliment the Rolex. But if I'm wearing a t-shirt and jeans, people might not even notice the Rolex. Sometimes it's about more than just like the personality and the but it's about the environment that makes the compliment getting this happen, right? You need to dress appropriate for the occasion to get like recognized. So you need, like, you wouldn't wear the same watch with everything. So same way with fragrances, you need to wear the right fragrance for the right season, and then that's when it stands out. That's when it makes, when the temperature, when the cool weather, when the outfits you're wearing, you know, in springtime, you sometimes throw a jacket on. You may wear shorts, but you may not wear shorts. This is an absolute killer. I mean, this is just like when I think of this, I think of just a really freaking suave, good smelling guy, right? Like, think Michael B. Jordan, right? It's just a really good looking guy who he just knows he's good looking too. I mean, he knows what, like, when you wear this fragrance, right? When you wear this, you're gonna walk into a room and you're just gonna know that I'm a good smelling guy. You'll see people looking, you'll see people turning, but at the same time, you'll also know they're looking at you because, like, they're not looking at you because you have a pimple on your forehead. They're looking at you because, oh, what was that guy who just walked in? I think Michael B. Jordan. I think of Channing Tatum in Magic Mike. You know, I think of like just insert like Henry Cavill in Superman, right? Just like a clean cut, like classically handsome, good looking guy who knows he's a shit. He's a fun vibe. He likes to party, or doesn't he? You know, he knows he's good looking, right? He knows he gets attention, and this one is the guy who's not really afraid of a little bit of attention, because you're gonna get a little bit of attention if you're wearing something this good. And that's just what it is. So 100% certified banger, absolute blind buy recommend. And for the price, you know, it's really, really great, man. For $100 or under, it's absolutely affordable. I think this is one of the best purchases you can make for the spring. The reason why number one is number one is because I'll explain in a second, but it's because of just the one difference that it has that no other fragrance on this list has. So let's cue some inspirational music and let me share with you number one best compliment getting fragrance for the springtime for men. Acqua di Gio Profumo. For the longest time, I really couldn't recommend this one because they discontinued it. And it broke my heart, because I absolutely love this scent, but I couldn't recommend it if you couldn't buy it. But recently, within the last year, Armani introduced the same thing but reformulated, a parfum version. So I'll put a picture here, but this doesn't exist, but they reformulated and made it even better and longer lasting and slightly more fresher, which is exactly what this was missing if there was any complaint about this. And they have an Acqua di Gio Parfum. If you have the Profondo version, this is not the same. Profondo is very aquatic. It's very blue. It's very similar to blue, like Dylan Blue almost, right? This one is a spring absolute monster. It takes this Acqua di Gio this DNA, right, which is one of the best smelling, most successful men's fragrances of all time. And it adds incense in it. It has patchouli in it. It makes it so freaking masculine, but yet it has the freshness. But when you come close and when you smell it, it smells like a man. The reason why I said this was number two and this was number one is one key difference. I think Jeremy Fragrance put it best when he was talking about this fragrance. But like this fragrance, for example, you walk in, you're like a good smelling guy, right? You're the best smelling guy, you're well dressed, you're groomed, you're you know, like the girls love you, the guys love you, like you're just a freaking, you're the boss, you're the man, you're a Chad, right? But this one, Acqua di Gio Profumo, yes, he smells good and everything, but the mentality is that I take what I want and I do what I want. That's the thing. There's an underlying energy to this one that you can't just put into words. You really have to smell it. The other ones you're still gonna be a very clean, fresh smelling guy, and all the fragrances that we talked about, you're still gonna be absolutely amazing. And depending on your personality type, it might even be better to pick one or the other. But this one, there's something about this that when you smell it, it just automatically puts you in a different tier amongst other individuals. It's a boss scent. It's an elegant scent. It gives you confidence. I mean, when I think of this one, I think of someone like Iron Man from the Avengers. I think of someone like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. I think of someone like Harvey Specter in Suits. I think of someone like Jordan Belfort in Wolf of Wall Street. It's like, I take what I want, I do what I want. I don't care if you compliment me because I know I'm the best smelling guy in the room, and I'm so freaking happy I can finally I'm promoting on the right word because I'm not getting paid by these brands, right? Armani ain't reaching out, but I'm so happy I can talk about this fragrance because finally Armani has reformulated and brought it back in an even better, even more incredible form. I have that bottle like somewhere, but I left it in my house in Virginia, so I don't have it here with me in New York. I wish I did for this video. But man, Acqua di Gio Parfum, Profumo, whichever you want to get your hands on, is an absolute monster, absolute beast. The best part about the scent DNA is that all the fragrance we've talked about so far, maybe 50 years in the past, 50 years in the future, they may or may not exist, or they may or may not have the same appeal. But this one, you can wear 50 years, I'm saying right now, you can wear it 100 years into the future, and you will still be one of the best smelling bosses. There's just something so authentic, and not even more authentic. Is there something very traditional about this scent, but then it makes it modern, but then it also makes it unique. And this is one of the best signature scents for men. This is probably one of the best scents for men, period. Like a top 3 scent for sure. For the summertime, once again, I think it still performs well and it will still be one of my top 5, but for the springtime specifically, because it has that incense, that patchouli, and it has this burst of mint in it that makes you, it's almost like a sexy masculine mojito with a very universal mass-pleasing scent that you will stand out from the crowd for all the right reasons, but as there's an underlying message that, hey, like I'm not a player, I'm just the boss. This is the guy who doesn't even want the phone numbers, but girls are trying to give it to him kind of vibe, right? This is the kind of guy who walks into a room and doesn't just be the best-selling guy in the room, but owns the room. And if that's the kind of like vibe you're looking for, in my opinion, this is the best, one of the best men's fragrances for spring of all time, bar none. Absolute blind buy. Once again, get the Parfum version. This one discontinued, but if you can still get your hands on it, same. It's like from a trained nose like mine, I almost can't smell a difference. The Parfum is slightly fresher, but it's 99% the same. But I absolutely love and adore the scent, and I will be rocking this for the rest of the frickin' season. And that's it, guys. Those are the 5 best fragrances to guarantee compliments this spring from someone like me who just, this is all I do, live and breathe this shit, right? So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit subscribe, give me a thumbs up. It'll help let me know to make more content like this. And let me know in the comments down below, man. What is your favorite spring scent or scent that you wish you saw on this list but didn't make the cut? And if you're into this type of videos, you'll definitely enjoy this one over here, which is the top 5 compliment gods. Basically, these, out of all of my fragrances, these are 5 compliment gods under $50. If you want to carry me further, follow me on Instagram at Sidchala. You can sign up for my newsletter at sidchala.com/newsletter. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.